Zimmer News Team.
We're doing a deep dive right now to identify them, follow the money, and find out who's organizing this, who's inciting the violence.
And now, introducing your host, Randy Tobler.
Me no Randy Tobler. The woman to my left, the strawberry blonde, who says I am completely wrong. She's a blonde. Jennifer Bukowski. She's politically or geographically probably on my left. Maybe not politically. It's up to you. John Marsh is here. I'm Peter Thiel. This is Wake Up Missouri.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm very excited. I'm thrilled to be here, number one, because I want to go and enjoy the wonderful delight of Greenland. America's new 51st state. I love it.
Right next door to the potentially 52nd state, which would be Billy Long's Iceland.
Yes. It's
Billy Long said that we should do Iceland next.
Yep.
It's why not?
Boy.
And I think that's a good idea. It's a heck of a time. By the way, Trump just plays into this TDS, the Trump derangement syndrome stuff. Him saying it's because of you, Norway, that I don't have a peace prize.
He denied that.
Yeah, he denied it. I bet he did. But he told it as a joke. And
he probably did tell it as a joke.
And, okay, my dad's side of the family are Scandinavians and Krauts. Not necessarily known for a high level of sense of humor.
Well,
They're not necessarily a lot of fun. They do like to drink and eat really terrible food.
no
John
one
Marsh?
in Europe seems excited about this idea of Trump's to take over Greenland. That's for sure. They're a little bit queasy because they're like, well, who are they planning to take over next? Iceland? So if Billy Long's out there saying that, oh, it's not less than ideal there, Billy.
He was taken to task for it as well.
Well, Billy is going to be Billy. Anyone who has dealt with Billy Long, he's sort of his personality.
He's a joker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Trump. Maybe, no wonder they get along so well.
Yeah, they're good people. Billy Long is one of my favorite people in the entire world. I have not sent him a text about it. It's mainly because, I figure if you're creating international issues, getting a text from Peter Thiel of guest host of Wake Up Missouri is probably not what you want. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think that's a highly fair assessment.
All right, Jennifer,
And
where
Zach
do you come down on that?
Yeah.
We don't need to be creating any text message evidence one way or the other on that right now. I feel like tensions are high.
Yes.
Hungary ended up blocking a UN resolution last night to lambast the United States for its plan to go after Greenland, saying it's between Denmark and the United States. It's not was it UN issue or NATO issue? It might have been NATO.
Well, the UN has gone in, NATO has gone on and complained about it. The Danes, Denmark is a member of NATO, correct?
They were one of the original members of NATO.
Yeah,
and 40s, right?
Yeah, I think they were early in the game, and the Finns, I think, just joined up not that long ago.
Yep.
It's the Norwegians and the Swedes, which is my heritage on my dad's side of the family.
Mine as well on my dad's side, yep.
And when you're dealing with the Norwegians and the Swedes, you're dealing with bad food items like lutefisk.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's sort of you know what a lutefisk is?
It's probably some disgusting fish.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they eat over there.
They cure it in kind of a lye.
Yeah, the food over there is so bad.
My dad.
They're like their dishes. Like,
yeah, this came up in a conversation that one of my dad's siblings was going to have lutefisk at Christmas or whatever, and my dad just sat there and put his foot down. And he goes, "Lutefisk?
No,
I'm not going. I will not be there. My family will not be there. You will not see us." And they relented.
Well, good for them.
Because my dad, was the alpha dog, and as you'd expect. And so that's how that went down. Swedish sausage is pretty good, though.
They know what they're doing with licorice, too.
Yeah, and aquavit. Have you ever had aquavit?
There you go.
No.
Aquavit.
Oh. It is very big in Scandinavia, very big in Germany. It is a licorice
Very
style
big
liqueur.
with my great uncle Reuben, I might add.
Uncle Reuben liked it. You see,
Yes, he did.
it's my former brother-in-law, Wolfgang Klinkwort. He
Is that really his name?
Yeah.
Wolfgang Twinklert?
no Klinkwort.
Klinkwort? It sounds like a Harry Potter character.
Yes, yeah. He's
Sounds like
German.
somebody from Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, it's well, and so Wolfgang, being a normal German, basically had a cigarette going at all times, and he would have in front of him a beer and usually a tequila. But one time, this is like 10 in the morning. I'm on vacation, so it's a thing with my former in-laws. And it's 10 in the morning. He's got an aquavit there with a beer.
Huh.
And he goes, "Want aquavit?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" And he poured me, I had a shot poured and I had a sip of it and going, whoo, that grows a little hair on the chest. That didn't get more hair on my head, though. I'm still bald as heck.
Well, your former in-laws knew how to celebrate family occasions, family gatherings starting early, I guess.
Yes.
I can't day drink like that. I learned the hard way on that one.
I generally, if I day drink, I want to take a nap.
Oh.
It's sort of like Valium. Booze is like Valium to me.
Yeah.
It just sort of relaxes me and I want to go to sleep.
So
A lot of
like
people are
after
like that.
Thanksgiving lunch and trying to watch football afterwards. Same kind of.
We don't do lunch in my family. We eat at like 7 o'clock at night
There you go.
on Thanksgiving.
Well,
then you
that's good.
then you miss the third game.
Yes. Which is usually the bad one.
Yep.
Usually the bad one all over the place. So, Jennifer, what do you think about Greenland?
I think that Stephen Miller's brought up an interesting point over the weekend that by every conceivable understanding of what it means to occupy a territory for the last 500 years of history, human history, Denmark has done none of it. You haven't sent a bunch of people there to inhabit it. You haven't developed it. Think of how we developed the colonies of America. We built cities, we built industry, we built factories and farms and all of it. Denmark hasn't done that. In fact, they've done the opposite to the native population. They've forcibly sterilized them. So there's only 58,000 people living on that island. They're not traditionally known Danes.
Yes.
So they haven't really inhabited or controlled it. And it is such a strategic, critical asset. And as Glenn Beck has made this point, I mean, we're looking at Europe potentially becoming an Islamic caliphate at this point. I mean, they've been invaded by their mass immigration.
Because they don't breed.
Yeah, and they are not having enough children.
The birth rate is terrible in Europe.
Amongst, the long-time established people in Europe, yeah, very low birth rate, but all the Islamic people that they've let in, opposite case. So I think that it's not fair to be like, hey, United States, there's this critical, landmass. You need to pay for all the stuff to defend it and defend Europe, and you don't get the benefit from that. But I'm wondering if I think Trump is serious about wanting Greenland, that this isn't part of him bluffing. When he's build the wall, he knew that it's not going to be the same exact wall, the whole border of the entire country. Some of it'd be a mix of fences and other things if it's a water, whatever. But he would just be like, nope, it's a wall and it got 10 feet higher. But with this, I'm starting to think that he's serious about it. And it is escalating some tensions and making all of the European allies of ours rethink our relationship. So I'm just bracing let's see how this all plays out.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I love it. I love the idea. Coming up on at 6:22, it's going to be our friend Zach Factor is going to have the D.C. rundown for us. It's Wake Up Missouri. I'm Peter Thiel. That's Jennifer Bukowski. John Marsh is here, and good morning. And I want Greenland too. Can they name me El Presidente? I want it. You're listening to the Zimmer Radio Network.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
Jennifer Bukowski.
Yes, and with the D.C. rundown, not John Marsh, we got ourselves Mr. Zach Factor.
All right. President Donald Trump, who has been pressing for the U.S. to acquire Greenland, continued to beat the drum on the issue early today from Switzerland, saying, quote, "I had a very good telephone call with Mark Rutte, the Secretary General of NATO, concerning Greenland. I agreed to a meeting of the various parties in Davos, Switzerland. As I expressed to everyone, very plainly, Greenland is imperative for the national and world security. There can be no going back. On that, everyone agrees." And that the president declared that in a Truth Social post. Trump is slated to speak at the World Economic Forum annual meeting tomorrow. Meanwhile, U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson addressed Britain's parliament on Tuesday, telling them he had to come to calm the waters as tensions between Washington and its European allies have intensified in recent weeks over President Donald Trump's push to acquire Greenland. Johnson's address, the first ever delivered by a sitting U.S. House Speaker to the British Parliament, came on the eve of the United States' 250th anniversary and against a backdrop of strain in transatlantic relations during Trump's sharp criticism of UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer hours earlier over a deal involving the Chagos Islands.
Did Speaker Johnson say it sometime? No, we beat you. He didn't say that, did he?
That's not in the quote in the story.
Okay,
Peter.
sad.
And finally, how can we go a day without talking about Minnesota? Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is rejecting assertions that the anti-ICE protesters who stormed a church in his state over the weekend broke the federal law the Justice Department has cited as having potentially violated. The DOJ officials say they are looking into whether the agitators who disrupted services at St. Paul City's church on Sunday violated the FACE Act and the Ku Klux Klan Act. Mm-hmm. For those that don't know, the FACE Act makes it a federal crime with potentially steep fines and jail time to use or threaten to use force to, quote, injure, intimidate, or interfere with a person seeking reproductive health services or with a person lawfully trying to exercise the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship. It also prohibits intentional property damage to a facility providing reproductive health services or a place of religious worship. The Ku Klux Klan Act makes it a federal crime for individuals to deny citizens their civil rights.
Nice. All right, that's Zach Factor with today's D.C. Rundown. I'm Peter Thiel. Jennifer Bukowski's here. John Marsh. I'm interested. You know, when COVID happened, Jennifer, there were a lot of states, especially in the Southeast, that had anti-Ku Klux Klan laws that went by the wayside. And this was, you could not be masked during a protest. And so even states that had it ignored it because of COVID. And that led to all sorts of bad behavior by people who were using anonymity so they could commit any sort of violence. They could commit damage to property, all sorts of different things. I personally think we need to bring it back. No one should be masked up while protesting.
I think that would be more sensible because it just encourages bad behavior when everyone's allowed to be anonymous and masked. We've seen protests get violent with especially the masked people. We've seen riots break out among protesters when they're masked, and when they're not, and everyone knows that they're on camera, people tend to behave themselves better.
I'm into that. I like good behaving. Yep.
What do you think of the argument that ICE shouldn't be wearing masks?
Here's why they have to wear it. Is that ICE is going after some members that are members of the Mexican mafia, etc. Here's what happens in Mexico: all their police are masked up. And there was a story probably about 15 years ago where one of the narco trafficos was arrested and one of the cops was not wearing his helmet. And he was on TV. When he got home, his wife and children were dead.
Huh.
It is very important for ICE to remain masked. And again, it's like anything else. If you get arrested, and Jennifer, you're a defense attorney, you understand this perfectly. If you're arrested, the first thing you do is you cooperate with the arresting officer. You don't say anything to the officer. You be polite and kind and call an attorney. and allow the legal system to protect you. Don't throw things at cops. Don't punch cops. Don't do anything like that. If you're arrested, just, go in.
Yeah, that's otherwise it's called resisting arrest, and that gets you extra charges and makes it harder for your criminal defense attorney to get you out of a jam and move on with your life.
And this works with a speeding ticket as well. It's last time I got a speeding ticket, I did ask the officer. I said, "Well, officer, how much? What would you have me going at?" And he said, "I had you going 74 and a 60." I said, "I was not going 74, officer." Which I was not. I guarantee you I was not. And he like retorted, he goes, "Are you questioning me?" I said, "No, sir." So I lawyered up and had the lawyer take care of business and paid a small fix-it fine and sent a couple $100 to an attorney.
Well, this Chago Islands is a new one today. It's like I'm having to learn that's the great thing about doing
geography for Jennifer.
Yeah. In the middle of the Indian Ocean, you have to really, really zoom in on your Google Maps to even see these things. But apparently we have a joint Air Force or a joint base with the UK there. We have 2,500 Americans living there.
Nice.
And yeah, Indian Ocean, obviously strategic.
Certainly is. And you are listening to Wake Up Missouri. I'm Peter Thiel. That's Jennifer Bukowski. John Marsh is here. Drake Whitman. Following the news. Oh, man, we're going to dig into some more of these church protests. That's coming up next right here on Wake Up Missouri. Missouri, Peter Thiel, Jennifer Bukowski, John Marsh in the house. It's we heard from Zach Factor, so we're cooking with gas here, everybody. Got Drake Whitman here as our producer and as our leader. So the idea of protesters rolling into church to protest in church, and the left seems to love that. And because this has happened at churches on the West Coast where gay rights people have walked in to protest at Catholic churches, to do different things like this. Can we just say that churches and synagogues and any type of religious organizations sort of off limits?
Yeah, it is certainly a horrible thing to do to people. It is potentially illegal what happened, what Don Lemon took part in when the protesters stormed into a St. Paul church and started yelling at all the people there that were worshiping because they suspected that one of the pastors of the church was also an ICE agent. The FACE Act, which Harmeet Dillon was speaking about, they're looking at potential FACE Act violations because that prohibits anyone from interfering with with religious worship in a house of worship. And that's, if you watch the video, definitely took place here. I mean, you had kids crying, clinging to each other. They completely disrupted the church service. And I think, now Don Lemon is backpedaling and he's asserting that he didn't know where the protesters were going and he was a member of the media. But if you look at his earlier statements, he did have an indication that they were going to a church and he participated in filming, etc. But he will have more to work with as he was framing himself as a member of the media and not a protester. But when you're having confrontations with people, Don Lemon, what's the difference? You're kind of splitting hairs. And so his attorneys will have more to work with if he is indeed charged. And I think we'll probably find out more about that today.
Well, and again, the real question here is that you are dealing with folks who are trying to get better connected with the faith of their personal choice. And people go to church, at least conservative types of people only go to church, shockingly, to become better, to become better servants of God. And I think that's great. And to go in and get closer to God, I think that's a beautiful, wonderful thing.
Yeah, it certainly shouldn't be interfered with. Now, there are some people that say that this FACE Act is unconstitutional, infringing on free speech, but it is making a very specific, it's for outside abortion clinics and inside houses of worship. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here.
You can't interrupt praying or killing babies.
Yeah, apparently. Those are the two protected things under this FACE Act.
Hey, Paul, you are on Wake Up Missouri.
Hey, good morning. Good to hear you guys this morning. Hey, I just wanted to go back to the topic of Greenland. And Jennifer, she kind of gave some justification why we can acquire Greenland, should acquire Greenland. I've heard her give it a couple times, and it's basically goes along the lines that they've just not developed it, utilized it, and kind of taking advantage of it like anybody should of a country. So we can utilize it better. We need it for, for national security or something. So we should have it, right?
Or buy it. Yeah.
Buy it. Okay. Well, hey, I need some property. I need some office space downtown, Jennifer, and I need it in proximity to the courthouse.
Jennifer's the person to speak to.
I see where you're going with this. If I'm not using, if you have property that you're not using, you don't go stay at your cabin and fish or whatever, and other people want to use it more, then you should be able to take it from them. But I think it's a little bit of a different example when you're looking at world geopolitics.
Thanks, Paul. We appreciate it. Yeah, it's and people are texting in. By the way, you can always text us at 573 874-9390. But we'd rather hear from you. We'd want to hear your wonderful voice, your dulcet tones. 800-529-5572. 800-529-5572. Jennifer Bukowski, John Marsh, Peter Thielis, Wake Up, Missouri. We're in for Randy Tobler and Stephanie Bell.
Yeah, so someone texted in asking about my comment about the forced sterilizations of the Greenlanders by the Danes, which Denmark has apologized for, but it took place from the 1950s through the 1970s until, I believe, 1980, and like 4,500 Inuit Greenlanders were forcibly sterilized with these IUDs.
That's nice. The Danes are not.
They only have 56,000 people or 58.
That's
that
a
might
lot.
Be why
That's a big.
If you sterilized
yes.
a bunch of women back in that time period.
Yeah, and again, it's so the Danes are not on a, shall we say, a moral high ground here.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, they have apologized for it, but they didn't want to be giving out more welfare, I guess, to the people on the island. So they targeted people they thought might be single mothers and sterilized them. It's pretty horrible.
Yeah, it's awful. And so dealing with the wacky Don Lemon and this group of people that
Back to Minnesota.
Yeah, let's go.
St.
Let's
Paul.
talk about these churches. If you're in church, your synagogue, you're at your Islamic center, whatever religion you follow, and that's fine with you. That should be a holy place only for people who are celebrating and worshiping their God in the way they choose. And anyone who interrupts that, that's just not appropriate, especially when you have a mob of people bursting into a church and doing that. I cannot think of anything lower. And I will tell you, the crazies are in business in Minnesota. They are completely. I have a friend of mine who sent me a video. And
well, you can see videos all over X, but I'll tell you what, we need to follow the money with this.
Oh, heavens, yes.
Like, who is paying for these people to protest? That's what I want to know. And I think one thing that really alarms me is these reports that it is outside actors like China and folks like that are paying these patsies to come in and raise all of these just to cause discord amongst the American people because they know that we can destroy ourselves from within, and they are helping us along with that. And it's getting kind of fraught. Tensions are high. And when you look at the people that they're trying to deport, I mean, they have criminal convictions for like child molestation, all of these different things.
Yeah, keeping
and
the
they
child
wouldn't have to go and pick these people up if Minnesota had cooperated with ICE to begin with. And like, instead of just letting them out into the population at large, just notified ICE. It's so much more dangerous and to have to go for the feds to have to go get them in the communities than it would be to have transfer them over from prison or from jail to ICE custody.
Yeah, and there's nothing more that people should be protecting, apparently, on the left than child molesters. They like that. And somebody's accused of serious crime. The left loves to protect them, and that's wonderful, right? Oh, my God. Here's where we're at. And we live in just an absolute nightmare. And the other note for all of us to be paying attention to as we look at this, I think President Trump should not back down. I think our Justice Department should ramp it up. I really think the longer this goes, the more likely we're going to see absolute mayhem from the left. And it's going to be addressed properly. And you're going to find that Democrats are on the side of people doing terroristic things. And it is a perfect plan. All the Democrats had to do is saying, yeah, please take these criminals and send them back to their country of origin, please. And none of this would be happening. None. 0.0. So it's, I think Donald Trump is doing exactly everything right.
But the polling is showing that public sentiment for all of this is going down. So this is going to be a problem for the Republicans come midterm, which as vice chair of the party here in Missouri, I'm a little bit concerned about.
Yeah, it's a long time down the road. Let her ride, baby. That's what I voted for. And that's what we voted for Let it ride. I think ultimately it'll go from there. The left is used to people backing down. They're used to people every time Republicans, polling, no, we're so worried.
Racism. Oh, wait, no. Let's
yeah,
stop our
let's
plan.
shrink away.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
You've already
It's over
called
with.
us everything you can call us. Nazis, racist, everything. And so...
We know the Trump derangement syndrome. Every time we get off on talking about this and he's got another milestone that he's working on, we just sort of say, we refer you back to Chapter 3 of The Art of the Deal, which is titled Leverage. And this is how he leverages business deals. This is how he leverages politics. And I don't think we're going to invade Greenland, but I think we're going to end up with some more bases over there when smoke all clears.
John, you were so right. I recently, within the last year, read Art of the Deal, and it explains Trump to this day still so well.
It does.
But leverage is everything. We have a lot, and we weren't using any of it, and we were getting ripped off, as Donald Trump said, by everyone, and he was sick and tired of it, so no more.
I read the book when it first came out when I was a teenager.
You should reread it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to.
It explains Trump today, how he operates. It really does.
I'm reading right now Chariots of the Gods by Eric von Daniken.
Man, I read that in high school. Wow.
And he just died. Yeah. And I figured, you know what? Let me read that sucker again.
I'm reading Win Bigley by Scott Adams because he just passed away last week, the Dilbert cartoonist, and that also explains Trump. I think that book.
By the way, I think he was great, and I'm very sorry for his loss. I never found Dilbert funny at all. Coming up, after I go after a person who passed away, is Jennifer Bukowski.
But you are a manager, though, Peter, so maybe you're a little sensitive.
Randy Tobler and Stephanie Bell, we're in for them. John Marsh is here. And we're going to continue going into the art of the deal at church. That's next, right here on Wake Up Missouri, Zimmer Radio Network.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
Drake Whitman, he's pushing all those buttons. By the way, you can always call us at 800-529-5572. We're in for Randy Tobler and Stephanie Bell on Wake Up Missouri. Someone came up with this hot take about the protests in Minnesota and around the country. It's being paid for by the U.S. government. That's where the money is coming from. Now, realizing how money has been stolen from our federal government and going through non-governmental organization, that actually may not be that hot of it. That may not be a crazy take.
No kidding. I mean, these NGOs, what we're discovering, thanks to Elon Musk with the Doge, now people are more onto it. Just the amount of money is astonishing. What they suspect as much as $9 billion was stolen in the Smalley-type fraud scams up in Minnesota.
Only in Minnesota.
You would have to spend $1 million a day for 24 years to spend that. $1 million every day, because it's 9,000 days, to spend $9 billion.
Those Maseratis.
24 years.
Those Maseratis don't buy themselves, Jennifer. Yeah, our Somalis
you could buy 3 a day for 24 years? At least? I mean, how much is a Maserati even cost?
If you got the college NIL money, they buy themselves. But.
Yeah, but again, my question is about the fraud that's going through. I guarantee you some of that's happening in Missouri.
Yep.
And I want to know, it's whenever we have any type of program that's very, very similar with the state of Missouri, I want to know how many times do these places get visited by a state regulator? Yeah. And I don't want to take anyone's word for it. If they're doing a daycare or an adult care
even if it's a home daycare, that's what they want to do
Correct.
in New York, and that's just like an invitation for fraud.
Correct.
Like, all of a sudden, grandma's watching the kids. That's called normal family stuff.
Yeah.
But she should get a taxpayer check for that. Give me a break.
No, it's the fraud that's going on is over the top. My opinion here is that in Missouri, Governor Kehoe is looking very carefully at the budget and everything going on there.
Yes.
Using
AI, as he said in his State of the State speech, which is exciting.
Yeah. By the way, I was very excited about Governor Kehoe's speech. I thought that.
Excellent.
Nuclear, yes. Taxes to zero, yes.
Yeah,
an economic development plan for the state for growth. You don't realize this. Is that in the first 5 years of the 2020s, Missouri's population has only grown by 100,000 people.
Yep. We still have more than the entire country of Denmark. But
yes.
Because we're at 6.2 and they are at 6.05 for their whole country. But yeah, it's stagnating. We are having a crisis with 18-year-olds, like our high schoolers. They're going down, which is going to really hurt the colleges and hurt towns like Columbia, Missouri, and Springfield, because you're not going to have as big of student bodies if you don't have as many 18-year-olds, which puts the pressure on these schools to get out-of-state students to attend their schools.
It also goes into, just look at the template put together by Tennessee, Florida, and Texas. They're amazingly aggressive at bringing in new businesses.
And that's why their populations keep going up and up and up. And that's why we can't just be, like Kehoe said, he's tired of us being in the middle of the pack. Here, I am too. We know the recipe for success. We've seen the 9 states with no state income tax. They still fund their schools. They still fund their public works, their highways, everything else. And they're growing faster than we are. So, hello, let's fix this and go for it.
And not growing really hurts our smaller towns specifically, because a lot of times our smaller towns don't want to add on a new business. They like it the way it is. I'm going to tell you something, a little secret. At some point, the factory, the big employer in town is going to leave. And if you're a smaller town, your town can shrivel.
Yeah,
overnight, and we've seen that all over the state of Missouri.
Mizzou is our big employer, so when we have
in
population
Columbia, but
problem,
thank God Jefferson City has the state, and that never shrinks. And
you got that right.
It never shrinks at all. And Springfield
14,000 state employees,
and thank God for Bass Pro and O'Reilly Auto Parts. You are listening to Wake Up Missouri National Championship Football. We're going to talk to our sports guru, Drake Whitman, right after the top of the hour. You are listening to the Zimmer Radio Network.
Fighting Addiction. Wake Up Missouri with Stephanie Bell.
If I was the Ayatollahs, I'm not sure I'd be poking the bear with Donald Trump.
The Zimmer News Team.
We're doing a deep dive right now to identify them, follow the money, and find out who's organizing this, who's inciting the violence.
And now, introducing your host, Randy Tobler.
No Randy Tobler, no Stephanie Bell. You get Jennifer Bukowski. I'm Peter Thiel. John Marsh is here. Drake Whitman as well. Last night, big night. College football came to an end. Tremendous game. Our sports expert is one Drake Whitman. Drake, give us the review of that game. It was a great game, by the way. I enjoyed it.
So this game means a lot more for the sport than just what was played on the field. Don't get me wrong. This was the best national championship I've seen in a hot minute. But the fact that we are sitting here talking about the Indiana Hoosiers winning a national championship, and not like, oh, it's a fluke, it's a Cinderella run. This was the best team by far this year, is just insane. Because since 1995, they've had a total of 3 winning seasons, Peter.
That's nice.
They have not had a 10-win season until last year.
Indiana has not, correct.
And this team just won a national championship. This is insane.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. And that's the beauty of NIL. Because now you have teams that are on the same equal footing if they can get the investors to go in on it. And the big funder of NIL, here's something, Bukowski. Do you know who's been writing the big check to the Hoosiers?
Who?
Mark Cuban.
That's interesting.
Who went to Indiana. And
they have a much older team, right? Isn't the average age of their players like 23 or something? Is that the right team that I'm thinking of?
They're not significantly older than anyone else. I mean, that's kind of the average nowadays.
Yeah, and also we have players that this is their last year of the COVID thing. Because a lot of times players got an extra year of eligibility if they were in school during COVID.
So they're all older.
You know, like Carson Beck, who was the quarterback for Miami, graduated from college 2 years ago. Yep. And essentially he's been paid. How much was he getting paid per year? Was it like $4 million or something?
It was
like that?
$4 million.
It was something like that.
That was more than what he'd get to play in the NFL. So he's a businessman. Good for him.
It's certainly shaking some things up, isn't it? Especially teams that were early to adopt it. I think Mizzou, Drinkowitz, he was able to adopt this NIL stuff early, and we've seen results in our football team because of it as well.
Yeah, it's all about the investment, all about the stuff that's going on with it. The other thing is that it's turned into you need billionaires to be a part of it. And it is.
I don't know if you need billionaires, but you do need alumni that care about the school and the team that have means. I
was hearing a sports guy make mention. In fact, I think it was on the Tiger, the sister station, or it was on Jock in Springfield. One of the stations they had one of their people were saying that Georgia's biggest contributor is for NIL is a car dealer, which is great. They're car dealers who are billionaires who do really, really well.
Car dealers who are billionaires?
Yes, there are.
Okay, we're going to be fact checking that one, Peter.
Yeah, you go ahead. There are a lot of these dealers.
A lot of money to be a billionaire.
It's trust me, there are some, and there are some big dealers that with multiple locations that are in the billionaire type thing. In fact, one of them is a big horse racing owner, a guy named Frank Fletcher, who has dealerships all over the state, in the southern part of Missouri and in all through Arkansas and other states. He's a billionaire player.
Well, I'm going to be still nonetheless checking this. Maybe you're right.
Okay, it's now Drake, please tell Jennifer about that.
So, who won the game? Like, give us the
Hoosiers
basics.
won.
The Hoosiers won. Let's
Miami.
give us a breakdown of like what happened in the game, Drake.
So it was 27-21 was the final score. Miami lost to a interception by Carson Beck in the final minutes of the game. This was a pretty slow game. It was a pretty boring first half. It ended up being 10-0, Indiana winning, and in the third quarter, yes. then Miami kind of put on the reins. They scored a touchdown in the third quarter, got 14 points in the fourth, and really the biggest play of this game was in the third quarter when Indiana blocked a punt for a touchdown and kind of just swung everything because Miami, they had been showing some fight. It was like a field goal away from being tied. They ended up blocking the punt, and Miami still, they fought back, but Indiana, their defense is just so good that they didn't give them an opportunity to come back.
No, it's great. It was exactly what you want in that type of game. The second half was amazing.
Yep.
I think that's totally fantastic. Good for college football. Also, it sort of changed around the hierarchy. There was no SEC team, even in the. There was only one SEC team in the Final Four, correct?
Yeah, that was Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it sort of has changed around what we have seen in the last probably 20 years, where at least they're in the final top rankings have been at least half the team seemingly from the SEC.
Yeah. It was cool to watch the Hoosiers beat them on their home turf, which is, you don't see that very often.
And my buddy Dan.
Yeah, wasn't that an unfair advantage for them to get to play at home? For bowl games and stuff, you're not at home. But anyway.
It's
Miami. They were playing at Miami's home.
Yeah,
field.
well, it's that was decided years ago. No one knew that whether Miami was going to be there or not.
Huh. They just lucked out, huh?
They just lucked out. They won, and I think that's a heck of a deal.
Guess what, Peter? You're right. There are billionaire car dealers.
Oh,
I was wrong. Peter Thiel was right.
Okay,
and Jennifer
Drake
Bukowski was wrong.
Drake, please add on to this.
The you're right thing?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Do not tell him he's right. Do not. He's wrong
But he
all the time.
is. There's Norman Brahman is explicitly described as an American billionaire car dealer. You had Roger Penske.
Yep.
Wayne Huizinga.
Oh yeah.
He's dead now.
Yeah, and he also owned Blockbuster.
Oh, interesting. I
Yeah,
thought
why Zinga? Didn't he own one of the big sports teams?
Yeah,
too?
I think he owned the Dolphins at one point.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Huh. Jim Pattison out of Canada and Nick Politis out of Australia are examples of billionaire car dealer
How
owners.
about that?
How about that? Peter got something right.
Jen, you don't get to deal with him all day
Nathan
like I
says
do.
that it sounds like Jennifer owes Peter a steak from CC City Broiler.
Yeah. Jen,
This isn't Gary Nolan, okay? Thanks, Nathan, for your input.
We're on the Whataburger circuit here.
All right, so Drake explained this to Jennifer and everybody.
Yeah, if you deal with Peter on a daily basis all day, whenever he gets a big head, it's unstoppable. So telling him he's right only adds fuel to the fire.
So Drake will argue with me over something, and he looks into it and he goes, "Oh my God,
Yep.
Oh no, Peter, you're right."
Yeah, it's
Well, try not to be too insufferable because it was my bad and I don't have to sit next to you the rest of the day, just the first 3 hours of the day.
And you see, and I think that's a win, Jennifer. It's Peter Thiel and Jennifer Bukowski with John Marsh in for Randy Tobler and Stephanie Bell. Coming up on Wake Up Missouri, so much going on. One of the agitators, by the way, I really want to dig into this, who walked into the church. He's been harassing folks at churches in the D.C. area. He apparently really doesn't like Christians. He's also on the TikTok. You on the TikTok, Jennifer?
That bearded guy, he's been doing it in D.C. too. The one that we all saw the video of over the weekend. Wow. And he claims he knows what a Christian is. He's yelling at all these Christians like, why aren't you down protesting every day with us? How can you call yourself a Christian? Because, yeah, you're the expert, bro. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a little helpful hint, everybody. Paying your taxes is a legal thing. It's not charity. Which the left looks at the government as paying your taxes as a charitable donation. No, that's not what it is. Helping the poor is not a government program. It's something you do individually as a person or a body with maybe your house of worship, etc. Those are sort of like the Christian values. And we'll dig into that coming up at 7:22. You are listening to Wake Up Missouri on the Zimmer Radio Network.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
Is Wake Up Missouri. Jennifer Bukowski, John Marsh. My name is Peter Thielen for Stephanie Bell and Randy Tobler, who will be back mañana. That's Spanish for tomorrow. They'll be here, be a part of the team. So this feller who doesn't like Christians, apparently, has been protesting at churches all over the country where there are Republicans. William Kelly is his name, William Kelly. Apparently he's shown up at Pete Hegseth's church and berated congregants as Nazis.
Yeah, so he's the anti-ICE agitator who stormed into a Twin Cities church Sunday, recorded it. It's the viral video that's been exploding all over X over the weekend. And apparently, yeah, it's not his first rodeo harassing Christians, because he apparently has been, here's a quote from a congregant, "William Kelly is a regular outside our church. He screams incredibly vile and gross things at families, at children, at people. He called my wife a C word, a whore, and a Nazi breeder. All sorts of fun things," the Christ Church member told Fox News Digital. He's wearing a hat that says F Trump. He's got a very big, bushy, long beard, pretty
Which
identifiable.
is strong, yeah.
And he goes around and he somehow has a device that records his face as he records all the people reacting to him. So that ICE, when they stormed the church over the weekend, you could see his face as he's screaming at the people, and as well as the reactions of the people that he's screaming at.
And if you're on TikTok, his handle is Da Woke Farmer. One word, D-A Woke Farmer. All in a row.
Thanks for giving him a plug.
Well,
Or
hey,
next. Esquire on
you
Fire
guys
is
know
my
what to
handle.
do. Go on there and hammer him. Hammer him good.
Well, yeah. So he's might be getting hammered by the DOJ pretty soon here, because they're saying that what he did might have been a violation of the FACE Act. Harmeet Dillon was over the weekend saying that they are investigating that, looking into that, and Don Lemon might be in hot water as well. So
I think
interesting how the FACE Act is also known as like the Ku Klux Klan Act.
Yeah.
If Don Lemon on Martin Luther King weekend gets arrested for violating the Ku Klux Klan Act.
You know, it's
that would be
ironic.
yeah, and perhaps Don Lemon wants to go to jail. It's a great place for him to get dates.
Oh God, Peter, too far.
Hey, truth in advertising, ladies and
boy.
gentlemen.
I again, it's leave people alone at their churches, at their synagogues, at their whatever house of worship, Islamic center. I don't care what you worship. That's between you and your higher power. You should be able to go there and enjoy it, and be and learn to be a better person, and go on from there. It's just my thing. I'm a simple man.
Remember the nutcases from the Westboro Baptist Church?
Yes.
Who came to mid-Missouri, came to Columbia and protested, and their big thing was to protest funerals involving gay people in any way, shape, or form, and the military.
Yeah, no, they're disgusting. But are they?
And they came and protested when we had a gay football player come out. Remember that?
That's right.
We all
Yeah,
stood in
Michael
solidarity
Sam.
with him. And then 2 years later, all of a sudden, we're the terrible, racist, evil school that they had the protests at.
Yeah, it
Short memories people had. Around
Yeah,
those
people
days.
have very,
Maybe
very
still do.
short memories. It's I've not heard about them doing any stuff lately, Westboro Baptist
I have
Church.
not either. They kind of
And-
fell off the map.
And remember, this is not a church people go to. This is all just
It's a
their
big
family
family,
man.
pretty
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
yes.
It's the same family. And I think once the father died, Phelps is the last name, Phelps. What was the father's name? Frank Phelps? Does that sound right to you?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, he was a mover and shaker. I remember they protested several times at funerals, soldiers' funerals, and
Yeah.
troops' funerals in Columbia.
Fred Phelps.
They
was
even
a-
did in Jefferson City as well.
Yep.
What's
Pastor Fred Phelps.
Fred, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, founded in Topeka, Kansas.
Yes.
So anyhow, I'm not
It's-
sure if he's.
No, he's dead. He died. His kids, one of his daughters has been sort of the leader. They're all attorneys. And so once if they feel like their civil rights are violated, they sue. and normally communities just write them a check to have them go away.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
guess
scam. It's side money.
He was disbarred, though. Interesting.
Yeah. It's so yeah, that's again, you go to church, yeah, you should be able to go in there and be a part of it without being interrupted. It's my I'm going to die on that hill. I believe in that.
Well, in this day and age, too, of especially synagogues having armed guards and all, I don't know, you might want to carefully pick what house of worship you go to protest at, because you might not walk away.
Well, I'm going to tell you, there was that thing. Where did this happen? Was it in Kansas? I think it was in Kansas or Oklahoma, where somebody came in and they pulled out a gun, and they, I think, shot at the pastor, and one of the congregants. Yeah,
That's happened a few times where congregants either designated people are allowed to be armed or everyone is, and would-be church shooters don't get very far when you have people there that are ready to defend the flock, literally.
And if you go to some of the bigger churches in our communities, you will see the security there. And I guarantee you these are people that are, off-duty cops or what have you, who are carrying. And if somebody goes nuts, well, they're going to be sent to the judgment seat and asking for mercy. Coming up, more with Jennifer Bukowski, Peter Thiel, John Marsh. It's Wake Up Missouri, exclusively on the Zimmer Radio Network. Missouri. Stephanie Bell and Randy Tobler are out. You get Jennifer Bukowski, John Marsh, and Peter Thiel today and today only. And aren't you the lucky ones? Aren't you the lucky ones all the way
Heck
around?
yes.
Yes. The A team is back tomorrow, and I like that a whole lot.
Does that make
Mr.
us
T?
the B team for Bukowski, right?
Yeah,
There you
yeah. It's and I
Never the junior varsity with the B team. There you go. There's your promo.
yeah. We've talked a little bit about this morning, Jennifer, but I want your thoughts. Should we take over Greenland or not? Yes or no?
I kind of like it. I do like the idea, but I don't like how it is getting all of Europe really, really concerned about our friendship and things like that.
Well,
So
I want to tell you
I do
something.
like the idea, but I think Greenland should sell it because they aren't occupying it like a country, like our understanding of countries occupying when they take over a place. Their people move there, they build buildings, they build industries, farms, factories.
Yes.
Denmark, they haven't done any of that, and it's just a very strategic place because all the missiles, if they're going to have a war, you should see the trajectories. Tons of them would fly over Greenland so we could intercept them with the Golden Dome, which is, I think, really what Donald Trump is after. He wants this Golden Dome, but he doesn't want to build it in a country that a European country, a tiny one, by the way, 6.05 million residents of Denmark, the country. We have 6.2 million Missourians. So it's a tiny country that they haven't really done much with this giant island, the Earth's biggest island. I guess if you don't call it. Is Australia smaller or bigger? I don't know.
Australia's bigger.
Anyway, I think I'm in favor of it, but I do have concerns about what it'll do, like the ramifications of it.
I want to talk about the hypocrisy of NATO and the European Union. They're more upset about this than they were about Russia invading and attacking the Ukraine.
I don't know if that's true.
That is true. They wanted American money. They wanted American stuff. They did not do war games. Did the Brits did Norway and Denmark do war games on the border with the Ukraine? Did they go and do things like that? No.
I think the Poles were the only ones who did.
Correct. The Poles did. But
it was their border.
Yes, but there was not some big hype.
Well,
they complained about it, but they did not go over the top. I think they're more concerned about the United States buying Greenland than they were about the Ruskies walking into Ukraine.
I disagree. I think the Europeans were very, very concerned about the Ukraine situation. Maybe not in 2015 when Obama was president and they took just a chunk of Ukraine away. But Crimea. Yeah. I remember getting an alert at 2 a.m. I was up and it's like Russia does something with Crimea. And I'm like, what's Crimea? So I'm always I should have taken more geography in school, I guess.
Jennifer on geography. That's when we.
Jennifer needs to learn more geography.
So what we're going to do is this could be a new segment whenever Jennifer and I are with John on Wake Up Missouri. Is instead of Gary on guns, it's going to be Jennifer on geography.
Geography is really fascinating, actually. I read Prisoners of Geography, 12 maps that explain the world a few years ago. And the number one chapter in that book is the Arctic. Like, that is the next big stage. And this is a book that came out, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. And so with the shipping lanes opening up, everything else with China making fake islands, and all of these things are happening to make Greenland all of a sudden way more important than it once was. And so I think Trump sees that. He sees long term, we need to protect America. So that's why he's going for it. But it's making me a little nervous because the Europeans are very upset about it. So I'm glad to see Speaker Johnson over speaking to the British Parliament. He seemed to have been well received. And I'm looking forward to the barn burner of a speech that Trump will give tomorrow in Davos. Like, that is going to be something else. I know J.D. Vance gave an extraordinary speech just a little less than a year ago, shortly after they took office, where he was basically scolding the Europeans about their, unfettered migration and not paying enough for defense and squelching free speech. And I kind of get the sense that we might see Trump talking tough to our European allies tomorrow. And whatever it is, it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be big.
Huge.
Everyone's saying it.
And
I still go back to art of the deal.
Yeah.
I think it's just another Trump push and shove and see where it all comes out when it's over. But he's the master.
Yeah, but I go back to that too, John. But I'm also thinking, is this his Trump Tower? Like, he did so much to get Trump Tower built in Manhattan. It was such a huge achievement of his. And this is like I feel like it might be similar. He wants to really put a permanent stamp and go down in history as a president that expanded our country, like Thomas Jefferson or whoever was president when we bought Alaska, those kind of moves.
Klaus Schwab is the guy who, the German, who was born in Nazi Germany, who founded the World Economic Forum. And he has been
which is in Davos, which is where Trump is speaking.
Yep. And it's
tomorrow.
Yeah, the ego, by the way, on the World Economic Forum is that technically they want to become like even more influential, and in fact they probably are more influential on a lot of nations around the world than the United Nations ever would be.
Yeah,
And
that's a really good point.
And Klaus Schwab, who has to be taking a step back because, well, he's 87, and it's and he's no longer the chairman of it. He is looking for a one world government, la-di-da type stuff, and this type of organization always drives me nuts.
It's where like super rich business elites and world leaders meet up and like make deals and become friends and like work behind the scenes afterwards to like carry out their different missions. But they're very much into globalism. They're very much into more open border type things.
Yes.
And they're very much into the environment.
Yes, and while they take all their private planes from all over the world to go to Switzerland, which is absolutely... have you been to Switzerland?
Yeah, it's incredible. And it's very rich, by the way.
Yes.
But, beautiful. Like, what real estate
I
that
have
is.
not...
They're lucky that Trump doesn't want that country. I'm just kidding. That is just stunning real estate.
The Swiss, I think, still have a lot of Nazi gold in their banks.
Never.
I don't know. They stayed neutral. I think they don't ask where the money comes from, do they? But
No,
actually,
they don't.
now it's not I've heard it's not as safe to do the Swiss banks as it once was. And now they're using other kind of
where is
Caribbean
it?
islands, but then that's been kind of tampered down on.
Or is
so
it
I'm
the
not
Grand
sure
Cayman?
where, if you're a drug lord, you're supposed to stick your money these days.
But
Cayman was something, but then something changed with that. I have to look that up.
If you're an expert on drug lord money laundering, we want to hear from you.
Hide your drug,
800-529-5572. 800-529-5572.
A lot of that money's in Singapore now, isn't it?
I want to know. Yeah, I'm going to look that up.
It's while John Marsh, Jennifer Bukowski, and Peter Thiel are not wanting to be drug lords at all, we're just excited about where the money is. And so let us know. If you have an idea,
Always
we
follow
want to
the
know.
money. With these protesters in Minnesota, follow the money.
Yes.
All of the things. With the Clintons not showing up for their hearing last week, they have a lot of follow the money issues of their own, I feel like.
Yeah, it's I just sort of want to know where people are sticking. If you're a bad person, where do you stick? Is it Costa Rica? Costa Rica does not have an extradition agreement with the U.S. So if you're like a criminal who has a lot of money, escaping to Costa Rica is a pretty good place.
Yeah, it's nice down there.
A lot of Americans live there full time. They love it.
We went there at one time, and monkeys broke into our place.
Yeah, they got a monkey problem.
They can open doors. You have to lock the door, or the monkeys will get in and eat your food.
Yeah, they don't mess around. They don't mess around, the
we've
monkeys.
We've got raccoons around my house, but at least they can get into trash cans, but they can't open my front door if it's not locked. They can in Costa Rica, these monkeys. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's your garden variety primate is something that will steal your food
and bite you if you like. So you're
they
not
carry
supposed to confront
rabies?
them.
Can you get the rabies from the monkeys?
Sure, yeah,
You can get the
mammals.
rabies from any mammal, but I don't know that that's a problem going on down there. Monkeys,
Monkey
But
rabies.
They just like to bite. They will bite you as their fighting mechanism. And yeah, we saw a guy. He showed a whole huge chunk of his leg had been bitten out by a monkey.
All right, and
So don't mess around with the monkeys if you go down there when you're
unless they're doing monkey
escaping or
phonics.
vacationing.
Monkey phonics is very good.
Monkey phonics. What's that?
Well, it's with your kid learning if they're having problems learning how to spell and doing all that sort of stuff.
Like E-E-I-I-O-O.
You get a monkey to play the drums and the whole bit.
Huh.
It's a big deal. I learned about it on a documentary called South Park.
Yeah, when he learned to read last year.
Yes. It taught me. It was I
The
got
monkeys,
some good
he owes
learning.
it all to the monkeys.
Got some good learning on the monkey phonics. So yeah, I don't know where the drugs are these days. And
But we know
the drug
where,
lords are.
We know where the money lords will be. It'll be Davos, and Trump
Yes.
will be there making big moves tomorrow. I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what happens.
And all the complaining, by the way, about these people and climate change. It's the most hypocritical group in the world. It is just the masters of the universe, billionaires and government leaders hanging out together and deciding how they're going to control the future of the proletariat.
I can't wait till the biggest boss of them all talks tomorrow. I'm definitely going to have to take my favorite parts of the speech to the Jennifer Bukowski show on Sunday. 10
That
to
you can
noon.
hear on every one of the wonderful radio stations that carry Wake Up Missouri. So I think that's exciting. Coming up, John Marsh, what do we got?
Let's talk about the spicy cleats.
Ooh.
Spicy cleats. That sounds like a great idea, and I like spicy food. You know, I get that Tony Satchery seasoning. I put it on eggs in the morning. Pretty sweet.
Put it in your cleats.
Yeah, cleats too. That's all coming up. It's Wake Up Missouri. John Marsh coming up next. Jennifer Bukowski, Peter Thiel, Drake Whitman, and so much more. Thank you for listening.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
And blustery winds aren't pleasant for any of us, but they were especially brutal for the LA Rams, who are accustomed to their warm and sunny weather ever since they left St. Louis. Some players turned to an unusual and spicy tactic to stay warm during Sunday's overtime playoff game against the Bears in Chicago. Cayenne pepper in their socks.
Have you ever done that, Marsh?
I have not.
I'm willing to try it now, I guess.
Might be good for deer season. Let's see. Rams nose tackle Poona Ford showed off his yellow and orange stained sock after the game and assured everyone that it helps. The spicy pepper has been shown to improve circulation and blood flow throughout the body. And when applied to the skin, blood vessels widen, allowing for an influx of warm blood and creating a warm sensation. Now medical evidence shows that adding some spice, cayenne, to your diet can rev up weight loss by boosting your metabolism and helping you feel fuller sooner after a meal. So no Wegovy for you. Just go to the Rams hamper and grab yourself a set of sweaty, spicy socks.
Now, I don't know about this. Maybe somebody is more of a laundry and culinary expert than any of us here, Mr. Marsh. It's Wake Up Missouri, by the way. It's Jennifer Bukowski, John Marsh, Peter Thiel in for Randy Tobler, Stephanie Bell. When you cook with the cayenne and you get it like on towels and stuff, is that an easy clean? Is that something you can just throw in the wash, or is that something that stains the socks or stains the item that has been exposed to cayenne pepper immediately? Jennifer, what do you know about cayenne pepper staining clothes?
Not a lot. I guess I don't get cayenne pepper all over my clothes too often. Is this a problem that you have?
No, this is the players that the Rams put cayenne pepper in their socks to keep themselves warm in the game, and
might be an idea for the pickleball court.
Correct, on a cold day. Now, do you play outdoor pickleball this time of year, or is it an indoor
we've
facility?
been able to play a couple days in January outside.
I know.
The weather's
it's been great.
been so nice. Yeah, so normally, no. Normally, it's an indoor month for pickleball, but this month has been an exception, which has been fortunate.
Yes.
But, yeah, I don't know. If it's so cold that I have to put cayenne pepper in my socks, no, I'm going to play inside instead. Like, hard pass.
And you would figure asking about laundering the socks. I imagine.
Can you imagine what their feet smell like? I mean, guys' feet are already stinky. If they stick pepper, oh gosh, it's got.
I don't think any NFL teams are recycling socks. I think they go in the trash after
no, but their feet afterwards are going to smell gross.
My last several girlfriends have all told me that my feet have the delightful smell of blue cheese.
There you go.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's quite a compliment there.
Little cayenne to go right with it.
Put that on your dating app bio.
Yeah. My feet smell like cheese.
Yeah. So if your feet smell like blue cheese and you add cayenne to the mix, it'd be like buffalo wings, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's there you go for the lady who likes the feet.
Oh. Do women get into feet? That's a guy thing. Come on. I've never heard of women with a foot fetish.
I don't know. It's
you Google that on your computer. I'm not Googling that
one. not on the station Wi-Fi.
I'll do it on my cell phone.
But see what kind of ads you get after you do that.
That's right.
Kidding.
Oh boy.
It's all right. Let me speak into my phone to make this even more exciting.
But,
it's
yeah,
okay.
You're gonna get. I can't believe you're actually
Do
Googling
women
that.
have a fascination with feet?
This woman does not. I'll tell you that right now.
And it says certainly some women do have a fetish for the feetsies.
Huh. Well, I've
men.
heard about that with guys. I've never heard about it with women.
Well, it's stop being so sexist. and realize women can enjoy that as well. By the way, coming up at 8:35, Jonathan Savage, we're going to talk about World Economic Forum from Fox News. You're listening to Wake Up Missouri on the Zimmer Radio Network.
headquarters.
We need Greenland for national security very badly.
It's your morning addiction. Wake Up Missouri with Stephanie Bell.
If I was the Ayatollahs, I'm not sure I'd be poking the bear with Donald Trump.
The Zimmer News Team.
We're doing a deep dive right now to identify them, follow the money, and find out who's organizing this, who's inciting the violence.
And now, introducing your host, Randy Tobler.
No Tobler, no Bell. You get Jennifer Bukowski. I'm Peter Thiel. And our buddy John Marsh is here. Producer Drake is excited to be a part of the whole thing. A couple of things we haven't gotten to forever so far today is Diosdado Cabela. Apparently may have been a part of the whole deal to get rid of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. It's apparently there was a little bit of commie hijinks going on, wanting to go out and get rid of trying to get rid of Maduro. A lot of people want Maduro out of Venezuela. It was the best thing ever Donald Trump did. Every day with Donald Trump is like a gift from heaven. It's like manna.
We have 3 years left now.
Yes.
And we need every day of those 3 years. He's gotten so much done. He's been working at breakneck speed. But we're going to need all the remaining 3 years to get what needs to be done before hopefully the Republicans continue to hold the White House. But there's been a lot of work. I mean, every day. It's just, it's hard to even keep up with the news of Trump, much less what he's doing. But apparently one of the things that Reuters exclusively reported is that the Trump administration officials had been in discussions with Venezuela's hardline Interior Minister, Diosdado Cabello, months before the U.S. operation to seize President Nicolas Maduro, and have been in communications with him since then. They were warning him not to go after the people that helped with the opposition party, which helped basically win the presidential election, not Maduro, and Maduro held on to power. But now there's suspicion that did he help with the raid? And that would explain actually why Trump has been like, well, the opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, wouldn't have control of the country. We're going to leave the people in place, but they're going to do what we say. If you know that the guy that runs the military is going to do what you say, that's very helpful to make sure that you maintain order in that country.
Yeah,
so Rodriguez is the puppet of Trump and America right now. And I guess this guy is known to be brutal, though, and like torture people. He's not a good guy at all. He's a bad guy. But there was actually an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend about he needs to go. But apparently now the new report is that maybe we were in talks with him.
Yeah, and again, you need somebody on the inside. It was so easy to pluck Maduro out.
Yeah.
And there had to be...
Maduro's son is like pitching a fit. Like someone here is a mole. Someone here gave movements of where he was. He wants to know who. And Venezuelans now might be finger pointing at this guy. We don't know. But this guy would know where Maduro would be.
Yeah, and again, it's Nicolas Maduro. Everyone wanted to get rid of him forever and ever. You heard Democrats go through. It wasn't that long ago where Democrats were actually saying that Donald Trump loves and admires people like Maduro.
Oh, yeah, he loves dictators.
Yeah, he loves himself some dictators like Maduro. He absolutely will never do anything against him and that awful regime. Then Trump does, and what happens? The Democrats all of a sudden discover a love of Nicolas Maduro.
Yeah, there's not much to love about Maduro. I mean, he is
starving his people.
Chavez, came to power, and they had autocracy down there, and they squelched any political dissent. But then that Maria Corina Machado did an incredible feat. She and the opposition leaders snuck all this technology in to prove that they won the election this time.
Correct.
Because the last couple of times they won it, they didn't have proof of it. This time, without the regime noticing, they got Starlink in there, they got scanners in there. They scanned all the ballots to prove that they had indeed won. And it's really cool, really an amazing story. But nevertheless, he's like, nope, I got 50.5% of the vote. I'm still president.
Have you noticed, by the way?
They have that many people in poverty, extreme poverty in Venezuela. Where extreme poverty means if you spend all your money on food, you don't have enough to eat stuff.
Yeah, and sitting on
and then
top
over
of
80%
the world's
in regular poverty.
biggest oil reserves. I mean, it's just nuts. So the other
one of the major money launderers to boot.
Yeah, and the other thing having to do with Venezuela and the Democrats, I'm going to tell you something. When you hear from North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela up to now, other nations, they often talk about what a vibrant democracy they are. And they use the democracy term a whole lot. It's the leader of Cuba runs for re-election, and there's an opponent who gets 1% of the vote. It's not a democratic choice of an opponent. It's not an open election, but that's what they do. They're told who you're voting for and what you're doing. When you hear people use the term democracy, they often tie it in with some of these real left-wing socialist governments. And it is usually sort of a red herring. And I often listen to the people complain about democracy because they're not in favor of democracy at all. In fact, you see people all over Missouri holding up signs saying, we defend democracy. Well, democracy is what we got, everybody. It's called Donald John Trump. That's what democracy gave us. And I'm glad you're excited about democracy. You're just not don't like democracy when you don't agree with the policies.
Well, they don't like the Electoral College because we have a constitutional republic. It's not just straight up majority rule. And that's the brilliance of our system, actually, to maintain us as 50 states. They had a guy, Bolivar, down in South America, try to unify the continent like we did here.
Yes.
He didn't succeed. And if he only had, it would be such a game changer. But even his own Venezuela, he was a Venezuelan, seceded from the union he had formed. But it was a huge swath of South America that he had united and freed from colonial Spain.
Yeah, but
we're lucky to have a system where all the states stayed in and stayed one country. That is why we're the world's superpower.
And by the way, I think one of the worst decisions and one of the worst things this country did was make it so that we elected U.S. senators. I think that appointed U.S. senators at the pleasure of the governor and pleasure of the states meant much
the state
more.
Legislature.
Yeah, the legislators getting them in, I think, was a lot better way to do it, because all of a sudden you have a turkey like this Tom Tillis, the senator from North Carolina. You can replace him. Yeah, you can send him home.
Well, yeah, I haven't given that a whole lot of thought, but I don't mind the people having the choice as to who their U.S. senators are.
Well, the Senate is supposed to represent the entire state.
And so that's why them running statewide is good.
And representing the state governments in Washington, it's supposed to make the states stronger. And having an elected body of forever servants, who are some of them, Mitch McConnell's 85 or whatever. It's 80-year-old Chuck Schumer.
You think there'd be more turnover if the state governments pick the senators?
Correct. It'd be a lot more turnover, and it would be a much better thing for the state and to keep the states much more powerful instead of an overarching, strong federal government, which we have now.
But I am grateful that we do have the federal government that we do with the United States, instead of being like Europe or South America, where you're all these little countries and then different ones have different corruptions or socialist crazies take over and people suffer as a result. Now we have, free land with capitalism, and we're very blessed and fortunate that our founding fathers had this vision and that we've been able to maintain it so far. Freedom in our country, because we're not free in Venezuela. They're not free in Iran. They're not free in these other places. They're not free
in Europe. My God, you look at their people being arrested.
People for posting on social media.
Yeah, it's freedom of speech in Europe is a dead thing. There's a no-go zones in Europe. In fact, it's
what do you mean no-go zone?
Where if you are not a member of a certain community, they are not really thrilled about people that are not Muslim going into certain neighborhoods.
Oh, lovely.
And that's
lovely.
now happening in Minneapolis, where one of their Somali leaders said this is a no-go zone for fascists and white supremacists, which, okay. No, freedom of travel is a perfectly wonderful thing in the United States. It's a constitutional right.
Yeah. So it's it's an interesting time for sure, but we're lucky that we are a superpower. It's unfortunate that they didn't get their act together down in South America to do it, because you see these different countries like this Chavez, this guy that we were just talking about that they think was talking to the American government and still is. Reuters is exclusively reporting. He was around when Chavez was. He's been around a long time. He and Rodriguez, she is the vice president who's currently ruling Venezuela, aren't close allies, even though they've been like in the military ruling party the whole time in the same circles, but they're not necessarily BFFs, I guess. So they're the two most powerful, I guess, Venezuelans down there right now, though. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Coming up, we will have your morning bell look at the stock market. That comes up at 8:23 right here on Wake Up Missouri on the beautiful and well-regarded Zimmer Radio Network.
It's Wake Up Missouri.
And here is Jennifer Bukowski with the Morning Bell.
So it's Tuesday, January 20th, and here's a quick market report to start the day. Wall Street looks poised for a rough open today, with renewed trade war anxieties weighing heavily on sentiment. Dow futures have plunged about 700 points, signaling a potential drop of around 1.4% at the bell. The S&P 500 futures and NASDAQ futures are also in the red, reflecting broader concerns. Yes, the last time the market was open, the Dow had fallen 0.17%, and the S&P was off 0.06%. NASDAQ Composite was off down 0.06%. It looks like on the commodities front, safe haven buying is driving up gold 3.19% to $4,741 an ounce. Silver is surging 7.32% to $95. Both are record highs. Crude oil is edging higher by 0.76% to $59.89 a barrel, which isn't good for our gas prices, I assume. Wheat is down and copper slipped down slightly, 0.42%. Bond yields are ticking up slightly. The big story driving all this is President Trump's surprise tariff threats against Greenland, or Europe, over Greenland have reignited trade war fears, sparking a sell-off in the dollar and treasuries while boosting things like gold and silver. There's also talk of a 200% tariff on French wines and broader worries about capital wars as countries potentially dump U.S. assets. No major economic data drops are highlighted for today, but keep an eye on any further White House developments, and all eyes are on Davos, where the World Economic Forum is being held, and Trump is leading the largest U.S. delegation in the history of the World Economic Forum at their annual meeting with over 200 members. He's expected to give a major speech tomorrow, and all eyes will be looking on that. I'm sure the market will react to whatever he has to say tomorrow.
And I have some sad news. Sailorman Inc. has filed for bankruptcy, and they are one of the largest franchisees of Popeye's Chicken.
Oh, well.
And I do not see it affecting us locally, which is good news. We'll be able to enjoy delicious chicken in this wonderful state. And I think that's
I was bummed to see Saks Fifth Avenue, that company that owns that, and Neiman filed for bankruptcy.
Needless markup. Yep, absolutely.
There you go.
And
it's great because they have like all the brands gathered together in those stores, so you don't. Yeah, I don't like seeing that.
So I showed up at a family thing, and I bought a bunch of shirts. It was a summertime thing, and so I bought a bunch of new shirts. And my sister goes, "Who picked those out for you?" And I said, "I did." She goes, "Wow, where'd you get them?" I said, "Target." And she goes, "No, say Bloomingdale's." I said, "I live in Columbia, Missouri. There's no Bloomingdale's in Columbia, Missouri."
Yeah, it's a great white north thing, the Bloomingdale's.
And well, they look so good. I said, "I'm fashion forward." It's
they have some good deals at Target sometimes. Some good stuff.
Yeah.
Stylish stuff sometimes.
I just
That's
go
not
through
where
and
I get a lot of my wardrobe. I'll be honest, but
hey, I go through and look for
they've got some good things.
Yeah,
for sure.
I look at shirts. Here's how I do it: I pick up the shirt. I look to see if it's the right size, and I go, "Do I like the design?" Yeah, that's okay. I get it.
Yep.
If I don't like it, I move along. It's how a guy shops. I hate shopping. There's nothing worse than going clothes shopping. It
well,
is.
Man.
That makes one of us. I love it.
Marsh, where do you come down on this? Where are you on the clothes shopping?
I delegate it
You push it off?
to the boss lady.
All right, Drake, clothes shopping. Do you enjoy it, or do you look at it as like a necessity to have clothes on?
I mean, I kind of enjoy it occasionally. I like this quarter zip that I got. I mean, I like it in Nike stuff. It's fun.
Okay.
I like shopping at Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy Sports. That's where men go to shop.
Yeah. Or Bass Pro Shops. And that's where I'm fashion forward.
Anywhere with ammo and fishing lures.
Yeah, ammo,
That's
fishing
what everyone
lures.
says about Peter. He's fashion forward, guys.
Live
Just ask
bait.
him.
Live bait. I'm in. It's if there's a place for men with clothing and live bait, count me as a customer.
In mid-Missouri, they call that sushi on the hoof.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Ugh. We're
Try to
not.
get you a bag full of shiners and lunch is done.
Yeah, and a neat shirt. Strong. It's how this goes. So coming up, Jonathan Savage is going to be with us on Wake Up Missouri. What's best about him? Well, he's great. He works for Fox News, and he'll be with us. He also has a British accent, which makes him instantly more credible than anything you'll
At
hear
least
this morning.
sounds smart.
Right here on Wake Up Missouri on the Zimmer Radio Network. I'm Peter Thiel, Jennifer Bukowski, John Marsh is here. But we're very, very fortunate because our buddy Jonathan Savage with Fox News Radio. Are you in Davos right now?
Alas, I am not in Davos right now. I am in London, which is a little bit warmer, at least, if maybe less exciting.
A little less exciting. Emmanuel Macron, Jennifer Bukowski was noticing he gave his speech wearing sunglasses. Did he get whopped on by the wife again? What's going on there?
I don't know. I was wondering why he was wearing the sunglasses too. He looked very cool. I thought, although a little bit out of place. The sun's bright, but I thought he was indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be asking questions.
Yeah, I'm curious. Is it plastic surgery? Did he get whacked? But get hit or what? But what is the word in Davos about Trump's big moment that's coming up here?
Yeah, I think that European leaders are eager to get a moment with President Trump when he comes to Davos because he has really made headlines over the last week, hasn't he? He has threatened 8 European countries, traditional allies, with tariffs for obstructing, as he puts it, his desire to acquire Greenland for the United States. He's also screenshotted and shared a bunch of text messages from the likes of French President Emmanuel Macron, as well as NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, and a message he sent to Norway's Prime Minister, where he appeared to directly link his renewed desire to acquire Greenland to his failure to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. A very interesting week of diplomacy, alternative diplomacy, you might say, from President Trump. And I think European leaders, when they get to meet him again, would like to figure out what is it he actually wants. What can they give him that will stop him trying to take another bit of another country?
Yeah, well, he's not predictable, is he? That's one thing that I guess makes him more listened to, feared maybe around the world.
It's Jonathan Savage. It's Wake Up Missouri. Jennifer Bukowski, John Marsh, Peter Thiel. Jonathan, what the World Economic Forum? It's like they complain every time about climate change. Yet everybody's taking a private jet there. Do we have any idea how much fuel they're burning?
That's a good question. Not one I've been asked today, but I would imagine that this is not a low carbon footprint event. It takes place in the Swiss Alps. The nearest airport, I think, is probably Zurich, which is a good couple of hours away, so they'll have to get in their cars or their big SUVs as well to get up to the Alps. And they are flying in from all over the world, President Trump among them. One person who might not be coming in is the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. We all thought this week would be talking about the U.S. signing up to security guarantees for Ukraine. But with Greenland overshadowing everything, President Zelensky perhaps thinks it's maybe not worth him turning up after all.
Interesting.
It's the other question I have is that on the agenda for this year's World Economic Forum, is there something that's really leading that was supposed to be talked about before Donald Trump decided Greenland was the conversation?
Well, yeah, from President Trump's point of view, we all thought it'd be about Ukraine, but also his board of peace. The theme for the World Economic Forum this week was a spirit of dialogue, talking about connecting leaders to make sense of global challenges and move the world forward together. So that was kind of the theme. They were wanting to talk about the new economic world order, to talk about how the world is responding to the tariffs and trade deals set up by the U.S. They wanted to talk about China's economic recovery, I think, as well. So there were a lot of things which I think perhaps are becoming a little bit out of focus because of the Greenland situation.
If there's one thing Trump knows how to do, it's to pick what everyone's talking about.
Talk to us about Donald Trump. This isn't the first time he's been to the World Economic Forum, is it? He's been there in his previous term.
He has. He didn't turn up last year, I don't think. But I think in his first term he did go to Davos. And, when he turns up, course, it's Donald Trump. He's going to dominate the agenda, as you guys are saying. He will set the agenda when he does go. He is somewhat skeptical of going to all of these summits and meetings. He doesn't always feel the benefit in turning up and discussing things over and over with world leaders. When he does, they often tend to shape these meetings according to what they think he would like. I was at the NATO summit last year in The Hague in the Netherlands, and it was shortened from 3 days to 2. It has been said behind the scenes because they didn't want President Trump to get bored and of talking about things that he wasn't interested in talking about.
Very, very interesting. It's Jonathan Savage, Fox News Radio, exclusively on Wake Up Missouri. It's in London yesterday. Did you cover Speaker Johnson's appearance in Great Britain yesterday at all, Jonathan?
It was he was here yesterday, but he was also here this morning giving an address to the British Parliament. It's unprecedented, I think, for the Speaker of the House of Representatives to do that. He was invited to talk to MPs and Lords to mark the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. And doing so, he couldn't ignore the elephant in the room. He couldn't ignore the Greenland issue, the tariff threats. So he said, Mike Johnson, that he'd spoken to President Trump the day before. He said that he told the president he felt his mission was to encourage our friends and help to calm the waters, so to speak. Mike Johnson saying he knew this is a pivotal moment, but we've always been able to work through our differences calmly as friends.
And how was he received?
Politely, I think. Warmly and politely, I would say. I think that because of the current tensions, it wasn't necessarily a rapturous welcome, but he got a good standing ovation at the end of about 30 seconds or so. It wasn't in the main chamber of Parliament. It was in a sort of a fairly large side room. He was there at the invitation of the Speaker of the House of Commons, who welcomed him with good humour, and it seems to be a fairly, I would say, successful visit.
Jonathan Savage, thank you so much for taking time out with us.
Always a pleasure. Take care. All
right. That's Jonathan Savage, everybody. And that Fox News Radio, great having him on from London. Yeah. And World Economic Forum, Donald Trump will be taking over it and creating and making this his own.
He definitely will. But I do think Speaker Johnson has the perfect temperament to go over and be speaking to Parliament in Great Britain this morning. That's like personality-wise, temperament-wise, very excellent choice to have him. I know it was previously scheduled, but it doesn't surprise me that he was well received there and hopefully help calm things down a bit.
Well, I don't know. I think they'll be gunning for him, ready to shout him down in the halls of Parliament.
Well, he already spoke this morning, John.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
They didn't beat him up.
That's right. It was this morning.
Yeah, and the deal is about Speaker Johnson is that he's just so nice. It's like he's like your Sunday school teacher.
I don't know. Yeah, he's calm. He's capable. He's not flappable. Unflappable, I would say. I wouldn't say that he's overly nice, though. He's not like someone you think you could push around.
No, I'm not meaning by that. I'm saying, though, that the way that he presents himself is like like the Sunday school teacher will swat you on the buns if you misbehave.
He has been pretty accessible all in all for the media. Maybe not when he sent Congress home for several weeks, but all in all, he's pretty accessible on the Hill.
And again, this is the day of the first anniversary of the White House becoming Donald Trump, and we have 3 more years left. And year 1 has been epic. You know why the media keeps talking about, you'll hear some of these left-wing pundits say that Trump is slowing down. And you know why that is. That's not because Trump is slowing down. He's moving like a freight train so fast. It's their hope and prayers because Trump makes everybody work. When Joe Biden was president,
half days.
You started working at 10 and you were done at noon because Joe put a lid on it. And he's done working in public for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that had to be one of the most laid-back work paces at any White House ever in our country's history.
And the beautiful thing about Donald Trump is that, does he ever sleep?
Yeah.
I don't know how much he sleeps.
Half days to Donald Trump. I only tells his staff I only need you half a day, 12 hours.
Yeah.
But he might call you at 3 a.m.
Exactly.
And he's up there till in the middle of the night working, seemingly going and going. And
he only needs a few hours a night. He's got, like, some people, it's rare, but they're like that. I wish I were like that. When I was younger, I could go, 3 4 hours a night for many nights in a row, but I can't. Then I'd crash, for 12, 15 hours. I can't do that these days.
I do not function well if I get less than 7 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I have to have 7 to make it work. Now, some people can get by with 5 and 3, and God bless them. I can't. Yeah. It's how much do you need, Jennifer, for you to function well on a regular basis?
Well, I like to get 8 hours of sleep. That's when I feel good. I can function with 5.
Okay.
But not indefinitely. I'll have to catch up after
Marsh?
a few days of that.
I'm the morning news guy. 5-6 hours is about the average.
Drake.
I mean, I get 5-6, but I mean, I feel comfortable like 8 to 10. I could sleep for 12 hours a day if I.
Yeah, me too.
If it was my choice.
I'm not one of these people where, like, I woke up and I couldn't fall back asleep. I'm like, I don't have that problem. I have a sleeping superpower. I can keep sleeping, keep sleeping.
So coming up at 8:52, you're going to want to be a part of Wake Up Missouri as we sit in for Randy Tobler and Stephanie Bell, because we will have leftovers. That's next, exclusively on the Zimmer Radio Network.
It's Wake
Okay, it's leftovers time. Peter Thiel, Jennifer Bukowski, John Marsh, and Drake Whitman's here in for Randy Tobler and Stephanie Bell. Leftovers. Jennifer, you want to kick off?
Well, this is interesting. Huge crowds in Alberta, Canada, are lining up to sign a petition calling for the province to break away from Canada, with some even floating the idea of eventually becoming a 51st U.S. state. Alberta is Canada's most conservative province, and it's a giant territory. It's the one, like, it's more inland on the west side. There's a big British Columbia. Then there's Alberta, which is gigantic.
Yep.
And I just think that's kind of interesting. It's the most conservative area, and they're frustrated by federal policies like carbon taxes, energy regulations, and perceived unequal treatment in the Confederation, particularly regarding resource revenues and equalization payments. So don't know if it'll go anywhere, but it's amazing to see people in winter lined up for hours to sign a petition to secede from their confederation, I guess is what they call it up in Canada.
It doesn't surprise me a bit. Canada's wonderful. My mom's side of the family are all people who emigrated from Canada to the United States.
Huh.
And the French, and I even have, or she's no longer alive, I had a great aunt named Alberta.
Huh.
John Marsh.
Well, here's one. We'll preface it with, Jen, would you want to defend this guy? The grandfather of that 4-year-old sturgeon boy went missing in sub-freezing temperatures last month, now charged with endangering the welfare of a child. Sheriff's deputies say 44-year-old John Williams allegedly left the boy home so he could go buy liquor at the convenience store. They found the kid a mile away from the house in 18-degree weather with no shoes and no jacket.
A 44-year-old is a grandfather to a 4-year-old. Wow. Well,
it's yeah.
That's
It's
reproducing. Someone's reproducing young in that equation, if not multiple generations.
Yeah.
Welcome to mid-Missouri.
Now, why couldn't the kid come along to get some booze?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's
let him drive,
Yeah, it's
Let him drive.
It seems like a nice little field trip, a little family time. Drake Whitman, do you have anything?
No.
Hopefully that guy got some groceries or something. Give your attorney something to work with so it doesn't sound as bad. That you left
Sounds
him alone
pretty
to
bad,
just
doesn't it?
buy alcohol. Like if you got some bananas at the store or a loaf of bread, you could say,
At a
no, the
convenience
family
store?
needed groceries. It wasn't just a liquor run.
It's Slim Jims and Bugles.
Maybe
Slim
cheeses
Jims and
for
Bugles.
dinner or like cheese puffs.
Actually, I do have a leftover. I want to just absolutely go off on you, Peter. I'm tired of people saying that Canada is such a great country and, oh, well, my family's from France. No, we're Americans. I don't want to ever hear about the great white neighbors to the north being better than anything good at all. I think that they're a terrible country.
I didn't say
Why-
that.
why not?
100% said that.
I did not.
You 100. Okay, I'm going to pull up the clip here in a second.
Yeah, they emigrated south. My family emigrated south from Canada to get to the warmth of northern Michigan.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's all good. My leftover today, and there's just so many wonderful stories having to go through, is that Mexico. Apparently, they've been trying to get people to come to the United States, and here's one of the reasons why. Is that Mexicans who are here in the United States illegally frequently send a lot of money back to Mexico, and it boosts their economy. And so the ones that are not dealing in drugs, that are just doing construction, which probably most of them are. Most of them are sending money back to their parents, grandparents, siblings, and we are boosting their economy, and we've got to deal with that.
Well, Scott Bessent has said that they're going to look, and you're going to have to check a box saying if you are on any kind of sort of public assistance, you won't be able to wire money outside the country because either you're getting too much money or there's something shady happening. But if lying on a form like that would be a crime. So, yeah, they're already looking hard. Follow the money is always a good, it's always insightful when you follow the money.
I have a sound clip for the listeners.
Yes. It doesn't surprise me a bit. Canada's wonderful.
Fact checked in real time. I want a "you're right, Drake" from you right now.
He didn't say. You said he didn't say great. He said
It
wonderful.
doesn't surprise me a bit. Canada's wonderful.
Wonderful, great. There's
It's
synonyms.
beautiful. Those are beautiful people in
countries are
Alberta.
Switzerland's
That's
beautiful.
what's wrong. That's
They're-
what. No
all the
accountability
global
on the
ones-
show.
Okay.
There's no accountability.
All right, Drake. I'll throw you a bone.
Oh, I don't know. I think Switzerland's beautiful, even though all the
you
globalists
are
are there.
right.
I'll be on Gary Nolan at 10:30.
Yeah, Gary Nolan's coming up next exclusively on the Zimmer Radio Network. Have a great day, everybody.